Hello, thank you for being here for Hope in Hard Times. I was speaking with a college member of staff this morning and she said, "What's impressive about Hope in Hard Times is the number of jumpers you have. Every day you change your jumper. How many more have you got?" So I said, "Well, I've run out of jumpers, so I'm changing my shirt every day now." That's by the by. I want to describe 3 different situations today and then draw a conclusion from them. The first is 3 weeks ago I came back to college after having had my first jab and I was elated. I felt really good. I thought this is the beginning of tackling the COVID situation for myself, and it's going on with so many other people. And I bumped into a couple of people at reception and we were chatting. And one of them said, "I don't believe in vaccination. I'm not getting vaccinated." And I was a bit shocked. So I said, "Why don't you want to get vaccinated?" He said, "They just want your information. They're just trying to find out where you are and who you are and control your life." I reacted, "What's this about?" I was annoyed. I thought, this is another of those conspiracy theories, stupid conspiracy theories. It's not logical. And then something occurred to me and I said to him, "Do you have a credit card?" He said, "Yes." I said, "A Nectar card or a Tesco Club card?" "Yes." "Do you use Google? Are you on Facebook? Do you go on Twitter? Do you have a mobile phone?" Every single one of these organizations or apps or devices records your information. All these firms are into marketing the data they gather from those who use them. And so, to say that the vaccination program is about gathering data, therefore you're going to avoid it. Come on, sort the rest of your life out before you start going on about vaccination. So that was one reaction I had. The second was a much more beautiful experience. A few years ago, I was on holiday on a Greek island in a fairly remote part with a friend, and we had a nice lunch, and he said he was going off for a walk, and I said, "Well, I'm staying around." And I went into a church, more or less abandoned, an Orthodox church. So the door was open, a couple of windows were out, and the whole of the walls and the ceiling were covered with faces, icons of saints. And it was fascinating, and it felt really calm. And I stayed there in the cool and the semi-shade for maybe an hour. But when I got back to the apartment that evening, and for the next 3 or 4 days, I felt as though I was being looked at by lots of pairs of eyes, lots of faces. It might sound at first a bit spooky, but it didn't feel hostile at all. In no sense was I uneasy or afraid. I was just part of some invisible network, and all was good. The third part of what I want to say is something our mother used to say when we were children. Be careful what you do. Don't do anything naughty, because God will see you. And it was this sense of the heavenly policeman looking down and watching and controlling everything. And we should be afraid because everything was being recorded. This was before CCTV. My reflection on this now is about being looked at. And the first sense I spoke about all our data being collected, all our tweets being monitored, all our Facebook posts being seen, all our credit card details, every time we use Google Maps, it looks at where we've been and all that. That's true. That's the way society is, and we have to be careful. Not give everything away just because we can. Maintain our sense of privacy as well. That's the first part. The second part regarding this benign gaze. I hold that with me as a precious memory. And I link it with what our mum used to say about God sees everything. I believe God does see everything, but the gaze is benign. The gaze is a loving gaze. The gaze is an uplifting gaze. The gaze is from a God who wishes us well, who wants only goodness for us, who wants only healing, who only wants fullness of life. And being in that kind of gaze is really, really good. It doesn't take away the struggles of life, but it helps us feel we're being held lovingly and only for our own good. Thank you for watching today. I need to find another shirt or jumper to wear for tomorrow. See you again.